in the first 3 decades of the 20th century, textbook publishing in reading became an extremely attractive way to become filthy rich, because states like Texas or California or a few others would bulk buy, if you could politically get your reading text past the committee. I mean, these states would buy, 500,000 copies of your book, and then next year you'd buy 500,000, and the year afterward you'd put a different cover on it. They'd buy another. I mean, it'd go on forever. It was a money machine. However, what was at work at that time? Because obviously this could have gone in the direction of increasingly intellectual textbooks, but it went in just the opposite direction. Following the German model, the dumbing down isn't done all at once. It's an incremental procedure to where you reach, as Dr. Seuss came on the scene as a young man, and certainly not as a man intending to harm anybody, but he came across the scientifically controlled word list, where instead of drawing on the 1.5 million or 2 million words in the rich English language, I mean, you cut down the possible word use, 1,500 or 2,000, probably in special situations a good deal less than that. So Seuss felt trapped, sort of, and he invented his really droll and delightful little rhyming presentations out of these controlled word lists. And almost certainly there's, if you get Seuss in the controlled word list, you're actually getting some benefit that has little to do with building your lexicon, but certainly rhythmically and emphases in other ways. But what the public needs to know is this was done under the camouflage, under the guise of the world wars, when the public's attention was concentrating on, slap the Jap and all the rest of the stuff, and humble the Hun, because it'd be the First World War. These could be rushed through state legislatures, and naturally you'd cut key people in on it. And not cynically, remember, they're drawing on the wisdom of Charles Darwin and a number of other big names, saying that you may as well not waste any effort on these people, because they're, in Darwin's case, they're biologically permanently inferior, or in Calvin's, they're spiritually inferior, or in Spinoza's, they're psychologically inferior, or in Fichte's, they're politically inferior, and the system can't work without political inferior. So there are solid rationales that you can use to salve your conscience when you're doing this. Look, you could stop 500 people at random on the streets of your town, and I'd drop dead if more than one or two had any idea what the term overproduction means. And yet, without knowing what overproduction means, you're missing one of the great justifications for dumbing down young America. go back to colonial days. The ideal, and a lot of people approach the ideal. I guess not many ever got there, but the ideal was you produced your own shelter, your own clothing, your own food, your own entertainment, your own education, your own medical care. So to be a perfect producer was the ideal. Well, how on earth could a corporation survive if that attitude survived? The whole idea of a corporation, and I want to extend it beyond commerce into government. The whole idea of a corporation is the corporation will do for you. You just sit back.